Welcome to a Current Affair Extra. Ahead in this hour, we'll explore the dangers and desires that your children come in contact with every day.
Our first story deals with a subculture of heavy metal music that some feel is sending a dangerous message to your kids. It's been associated with satanic worship, suicide, and animal sacrifice. But is death metal music just hype or something that could actually hurt your kids? Terry Willesee reports on the new wave of bands that may be teaching your children to have sympathy for the devil.
Death metal. It's fast, aggressive. Outpouring of pure emotion, pure honest emotion.
We don't go around kicking dogs to death, you know. We don't like tell people to go out and do stuff like that.
It's angry music, and it doesn't hurt anybody. They listen to it, they get involved in it, and they get their aggressions out. They go to the shows and they bang around in the what they call a slam pit, and they get their aggressions out.
Jeff's a big music fan. He's grew up listening to Black Sabbath.
Chris Edmonds is talking about notorious mass murderer Jeffrey Dahmer. In a chilling illustration of his anger, Edmonds had a photo of Dahmer autographed by death metal band members in Tampa, Florida. Why?
You can take Jeffrey Dahmer and you can put a face on it. You know, what you're feeling inside, the way he did towards people, that's the anger, you know, that we feel inside. And he just kind of developed it, I think. It's a face to put on somebody just so you can see this is for real. This is definitely for real. We are pissed off.
Death music is supposed to be scary. Its fans say it's the musical version of a horror movie. But recently, in a New Jersey juvenile court, allegations of a real-life horror, rightly or wrongly attributed to metal music. Sussex County Prosecutor Dennis O'Leary.
They held the dog up by the chain and kicked it into unconsciousness. They thought they had killed the dog at that point.
The dog allegedly attacked by two 15-year-old boys was a family pet, a 5-year-old black Labrador mix.
She was the type of dog that would take her front paws and just like wrap them around your leg, like giving you a little hug.
What you're about to hear will disturb and upset many people. The 15-year-olds who'll face the courts in about a month apparently concluded from the death metal music they were listening to that they had to sacrifice an animal in a satanic ritual.
The tongue was ripped from the animal's mouth by hand, and then placed inside of a satanic insignia, and that constituted the ritual.
The boys' claims of the music's influence on them may, however, never be determined in a court. The attorney representing one of the boys is James Opfer.
Individuals who react allegedly in response to these lyrics have other dark clouds in their closets.
The two accused youths said one of the bands that influenced their actions was Deicide. Lead singer of the group, Glenn Benton, reportedly said of the slaying, it was cool. He claimed to have killed many animals himself and enjoyed it. The metal music industry often complains it is unfairly dealt with by the media. But it should be pointed out that Glenn Benton's record company told us about the mutilation of a dog and the claimed influence of metal music.
Satan.
Tampa, Florida is being hailed as the center of death metal in the United States. It's where established bands and up-and-comers are attracting a horde of eager fans. While most bands boast no religious affiliations, some like Morbid Angel are self-confessed Satanists.
Does the devil work through you? There is no devil. I'm the devil.
Well, who is Satan?
I'm Satan.
How does that affect the kids, do you think? Do they ask you about it?
No, because we don't really go on about it too much. I mean, I express my anger through my lyrics, but as far as the kids are concerned, most kids are just as disgusted as we are about things. And we happen to be a vent for that frustration.
The lyrics of David Vincent's group Morbid are often venomous attacks upon Christianity. This clip banned from MTV. The lyrics from another death metal band, Cannibal Corpse, sing words we cannot repeat here, except to say they relate to sex abuse, sadism, cannibalism, necrophilia, infanticide, mutilation, molestation, and death. Language most people would find repulsive and sickening. In their days, even the Beatles were considered outrageous by some. How tame now does this comment from Beatle John Lennon seem?
We meant more to kids than Jesus did, or religion at that time. I wasn't knocking it or putting it down, I was just saying it.
More recently, the heavy metal band Judas Priest faced charges their music resulted in the suicide of a teenager.
The misunderstanding that I had with their parents for whatever reasons, and all the other connotations, these boys saw fit to take their own lives. Nothing to do with music.
The court found Judas Priest lyrics were protected under the First Amendment rights to freedom of speech. However, in Australia, under the banner of family values, the government has begun confiscating shipments of death metal CDs because of the offensive lyrics.
And he is for you and not against you. Hallelujah.
In Tampa, Florida, the Reverend Joseph McCall.
I think that's the power that people need to be aware of that's latent in that kind of musical expression. Certain kinds of musical expressions have the potential to serve as a medium for evil spirits to work through.
There are those, however, who argue death metal music is doing more good than harm as therapy for angry and frustrated youngsters.
Well, this isn't hurting people. This is entertaining people. This is providing release for, for kids in America, and I'm all for that.
I think it's the fault of everything that your parents and my parents believed in crumbling before our eyes. Reagan and Bush gave kids the noise. The kids are giving the noise right back.
One of the upcoming death bands is Obituary. Obituary is considered a more middle-of-the-road death band, but they still sing of death, gore, and destruction.
And it's all just music, no matter what kind of music it is. I mean, if it's classical music or if it's opera, it's just music.
Trevor Perez's parents, Beverly and Lee, have no qualms about their son's music.
We've always been open at the house and talking with him about music, and he's always loved it, and he's always been a good boy and never had any reason to... And the other people that are in the band are from good families, and they're keeping control of their kids, and they know what they're doing, and we've never had any problems.
I think that the people out there that have concerns for their children dealing with this kind of music, I think it's warranted, and I think they ought to pay attention to what's going on with each individual's child and make sure that they're not getting, off on the wrong foot.
You shouldn't be scared. They're just normal people. They look a little weird sometimes. Some of them are a little bit strange. Cannibal Corpse. Gangs out in L.A. I mean, that's a much more frightful thing to me than hanging out here with a bunch of long-haired guys in black T-shirts.
And while we may not listen to the music, perhaps we should be listening to these young men and wondering at their fuming anger.
A lot of disgust, and it's hard to sing about dancing around in a flower garden when you feel the way we do.
If I couldn't get it out this way, I'd get it out another way, a lot worse.
I mean, we all know that adolescence is a tough time, but it's amazing to see the lengths people go to express their frustration. It's sad.
Yeah, it's amazing, but I think parents have to really pay more attention to what these kids are listening to. Yeah. Up next on Extra, the